After 10 brutal weeks of blockade, Gaza teetering on the edge of famine, Israel has just blinked. But is this too little, too late? In a dramatic turn of events, Israel has announced it will finally allow a limited amount of food aid into Gaza, ending a 10-week blockade that's left the region staring down the barrel of full-blown famine. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made the move as pressure mounted internationally, and the threat of a starvation crisis began to undermine Israel's renewed military offensive against Hamas. Right now, the situation in Gaza is beyond dire. Ground attacks are surging in both the north and south, while intense airstrikes have knocked out all three of the main public hospitals. That means even the most basic medical care is now impossible for tens of thousands. In just the past 24 hours alone, over 100 Palestinians have been killed, many of them children. So why the sudden shift in Israel's position? Well, officials say they've agreed to allow what they call a basic quantity of food aid into Gaza. But there's a catch. They insist this aid must not fall into the hands of Hamas. Israel had originally imposed the blockade 11 weeks ago, accusing Hamas of stealing supplies, an allegation Hamas strongly denies. Since then, the United Nations and other aid groups have pushed back, saying they have strict supervision systems in place to ensure aid goes where it's needed. But despite this, the crossings remained shut until now. The timing isn't a coincidence. There's been a growing chorus of condemnation from around the world, including the US, warning of an impending humanitarian catastrophe. And just days into Israel's renewed offensive, Netanyahu's office admitted that letting starvation spiral out of control could seriously jeopardize their military goals. Right now, more than 100,000 metric tons of food are stockpiled at Gaza's borders, ready to be delivered. But yet there's still no word on exactly when the aid will get in, how much will be allowed, or how it will be distributed. The UN says it's been asked to resume its deliveries, but Israel's also floating a controversial new aid system that many, including UN officials, are calling unethical and unworkable. For now, Israel's permission for aid seems to be a temporary fix, not a long-term solution. Meanwhile, on the ground, the fighting rages on. Israel's new offensive has seen intense bombardments across Gaza. Hospitals, schools, even shelters housing displaced families have been caught in the crossfire. Palestinian media reports say the Nusra hospital was struck, along with a school where children were taking refuge. Dozens of young lives have been lost in just a single day, and although peace talks are technically ongoing in Qatar, with both Israeli and Hamas, negotiators still present, there's been no breakthrough, no deal for a ceasefire, and no progress on releasing the remaining Israeli hostages still held in Gaza. So yes, Israel is allowing food in, but the war isn't slowing down, and with famine still looming, the question remains, is this gesture enough to save lives, or just a move to buy time? Stay with us for more updates as this crisis continues to unfold.